When Amaya was 16 years old, he signed with the Cubs for a $1.25 million signing bonus. Now, he's 19, and he's the only one in the entire Cubs organization playing in the Futures game. If Amanda makes one kick through the uprights, she'll be the first girl in Adams history to score a point for the football team. And the rules are simple. If you get hit, you're out.
That's right, guys. Nick Wisher suffered an unthinkable personal loss and has used that as his own inspiration on the field, but is also helping so many others.
And just because Gillis earned his black belt, it doesn't mean his hard work is complete. Not only are the Notre Dame offensive linemen confident in their abilities, but the guy playing behind them, quarterback Brandon Wimbush, feels they haven't skipped a beat. I'm sure you've seen it. Forrest Gump.
Correct. Oh, I love that movie.
Who wins in a one-on-one matchup between you and Forrest Gump?
In my prime, I got him.
That's right, guys. Nick Wisher suffered an unthinkable personal loss and has used that as his own inspiration on the field, but is also helping so many others.
Here come the Irish!
Before every game at Notre Dame Stadium, Nick Wisher runs through the tunnel to the south end zone, where he gets on a knee to say a prayer.
I pray to God, and I pray, to Andrew to kind of watch over me.
Nick's older brother Andrew has had a huge impact on his life. Andrew is the reason Nick started playing football.
When he was in high school, I went to all of his games, and just to have that role model and that the way he played was, just a tough, gritty player, just always doing his job. You can always count on him. So from an early age, I tried to emulate that.
But 8 years ago, Nick's role model was diagnosed with colorectal cancer. 2 years later, Andrew lost his fight. He was just 21.
I think about him daily, just everything I do on the field. I think that stems from him and kind of the lessons he taught me.
The most important lesson Nick learned from Andrew was to never give up.
Caught for the Nick Wisher touchdown!
His kind of big deal was, when he was getting hospice care, he looked the nurse in the eye and told her, "I'm not done fighting." So for me to be able to come out in the field and have that "I'm not done fighting" attitude is a big deal for me.
To the back of the end zone, Wisher, touchdown, Notre Dame!
That mentality resonates throughout the entire Notre Dame football program.
He is a very influential player on our football team, and when he makes plays, it sends a real positive feeling amongst our football team.
He's a guy you want in your foxhole. Just a great guy, and through thick and thin, he'd be there for you.
But Nick is there for more than just his teammates. His family created the Andrew Wisher Foundation to fulfill Andrew's dying wish, to bring joy and ease the financial burden felt by families battling cancer. One of the foundation's big events is Wish Fest, a one-night musical festival in Chicago. Every single dollar raised by Wish Fest goes to a family who needs it.
Just the fact that, the foundation is giving to other people, and that's what, my brother asked us to do. So it's really, I wouldn't think twice about it. It's not something like that I feel like courageous for doing it or whatnot. It's just something that I feel like we were called to do.
Touchdown, Nick Wisher!
While the Wisher family is helping others, Nick says Andrew is helping him.
There's certain times, especially, you feel like you have a little extra help, and I do believe that it's a guardian angel, and God and Andrew for sure working in my life. When you feel that extra presence, it's really cool. It's a really special experience, and I hope everyone can feel that at some point.
Chuck and Alex, the foundation has raised nearly $800,000, and through that hard work, Nick earned himself a nomination for the Capital One Courage Award given to a college football player who best displays that trait both on and off the field.
Ricky Gillis started taking Taekwondo lessons 2 years ago for one reason.
I need to lose my weight.
And his favorite exercise is using his gumdo sword.
Get stuff off my mind when I'm striking.
In fact, there's a lot on Gillis's mind all of the time. He carries an oxygen tank for his shortness of breath, experiences muscle skeletal degeneration, and on top of it all, Gillis is blind.
I can see flashes on a camera flash and bright light, but that's pretty much all.
However, he hasn't thought once about stopping.
Just because I'm blind don't mean I can't do it. I put my mind to it, I do anything.
His instructor, Grandmaster Hong, who has a 9th degree black belt, says Gillis puts the ability in disability.
He's into it, so every time he comes, he never give up. He just goes on and on. Things what I teach, he does second twice much. I teach second, he does 3 times more.
Gillis's effort paid off. In June, he was promoted to the rank of first-degree black belt.
I felt like it was a cloud 9. Beautiful.
And just because Gillis earned his black belt, it doesn't mean his hard work is complete.
I would like to try to go higher. I'd like to try to catch up with Grandmaster Hung, but that might be impossible.
He liked to accomplish, to set up the goal someday, be like I am, to achieve all the way 90 black belts. That's what he's shooting for.
Gillis says he'll reach that goal in no time.
Just keep on going. And then my eyes stop me. Slow me down a little, but then stop me.
Mark Skol Jr., New Center 16. That's right, all of Newsome's teammates respect him for his extreme work ethic. That hard-nosed mentality develops for Newsome every time he envisions his 16-year-old self, who he just wants to make proud. Tyler Newsome is a unique person. Just look at his haircut.
But honestly, I'm just rocking my haircut and doing what I can to make this team better.
Obviously, Newsome walks to the beat of his own drum.
He has got endless amounts of energy. I've never seen a guy that his motor runs the way his does.
He's wired differently because everything was almost taken from him.
You don't know when the last day is. You don't. Nothing's guaranteed in this world.
In May of 2012, Newsome was in a serious car accident. He broke his pelvis and ribs, fractured his tailbone, ruptured his spleen, and suffered a concussion. Still, all he could think about was playing football. The doctors weren't too optimistic.
They were like, this guy not going to play football again. You know, you're lucky. You're going to be lucky if you walk. But I don't think they knew that I got a fight in me. I wasn't having that.
Newsome was in the hospital for 17 days, but he made a full recovery and was even back on the field for the start of his junior high school season. Now at Notre Dame, he is second in school history in career punt average.
I think on it and I say to myself, you know, be grateful because it could have gone differently. I guess it just makes me more grateful that I get to be at a place like Notre Dame.
His Irish teammates say they are grateful to have him. They even voted him as captain.
You're not going to get a guy more charismatic than him. I mean, he's funny. He's a captain. He's a leader for a reason. I mean, he got chosen, for the spot. I mean, everyone respects him for it. So, when you need someone to depend on, he's there for you.
Newsome says he's just happy to even be here.
I really just try and keep that, never forget that, I am so lucky to be here. Big man upstairs looked out for me big time, and it's something I always think about.
Newsome says his 16-year-old self would be proud of what he has accomplished both on and off the field. 2 years ago, Newsome earned the Community Champion Award given to 5 Irish student athletes who best represent what the university stands for. Clearly, Newsome is making a big impact here at Notre Dame. Guys, back to you. One of the biggest plays Notre Dame made in Saturday's 38-17 win over Stanford was quarterback Ian Book's pass to tight end Cole Kmet on 4th down. The pass went for 19 yards and led to a Nick Wisher touchdown reception to give the Irish a 14-7 lead. But Kmet's catch made it all happen. The fact that Kmet isn't even at 100% makes the snag all the more impressive. Kmet suffered a high ankle sprain against Ball State and has been wearing a brace ever since. This injury was supposed to have Kmet sidelined for 4 weeks, but he made it back in 2 after spending 2.5 hours every day rehabbing to get it back to 100%.
I mean, I worked my butt off in terms of important it is.
Kmet says his biggest incentive to get back was seeing Stanford and Virginia Tech on the schedule. Kmet will be ready to go in this Saturday's game against the Hokies. Kickoff is slated for 8:21 p.m. To the NFL, the Colts getting steamrolled right now by the Pats. Tom Brady threw his 500th career touchdown pass, and New England is on top 38-17 late in the 4th quarter. Today, Chicago Bears linebacker Khalil Mack was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Month. Mack played out of his mind in September. He forced 4 fumbles and also had a pick 6. Mack becomes the first player since former Colt Robert Mathis to have a strip sack in 4 consecutive games. Mack is the first Chicago Bear to be awarded that honor since Charles Tillman in October of 2012. On a football at the high school level, New Center 16 Spotlight Game of the Week is the matchup between 2 undefeated teams, Three Rivers and Edwardsburg. It's safe to say the Eddies have been dominant this season. The offense is averaging a whopping 58 points per game. Meanwhile, the defense has only given up 3 touchdowns all year. However, the Eddies can't seem to decide which side of the ball has been more dominant this season.
It's going both ways right now.
Each other very well.
6-0 Edwardsburg, 6-0 Three Rivers. It's sure to be a good one of many good ones we'll have tomorrow night on Friday Night Football at 11. Now, game 1 of the NLDS between the Rockies and Brewers, led by Notre Dame grad Craig Counsell. In the third, Christian Yelich goes deep the opposite way. That's a 2-run shot. Brew Crew up 2-0. The Rockies were tied in the 9th, but Mike Moustakas ends it in the 10th. Walk-off single gives the Brewers the 3-2 win and the 1-0 series lead. Opening night for the Blackhawks, they take on the Senators. The first goal of the season is a wrister from Alex DeBrincat. Hawks up 1-0. However, later in the first, the Senators take the 3-2 lead on the Colin White power play goal. Now this one needed overtime, and it's Patrick Kane with the game winner. Hawks win 4-3. Red Wings season opener against the Blue Jackets. Columbus on the break. Spin move by Anthony Duclair sends the puck out in front, and it's shoveled in by Josh Anderson. 2-1 Jackets. The Red Wings answer. Tyler Bertuzzi deflects this puck into the back of the net to tie this one up at 2. And this one also needed overtime, and it was Artemi Panarin with the dagger. Blue Jackets win 3-2. First night back, I got a couple overtime games. Gotta love it.
Boy, bodes well for the rest of the season. All right, Mark, thanks a lot.